I am Rachel Lynn, and tonight my life is torn in two. The ballroom smells like lilies and champagne, but my hands smell like kitchen soap. It's my father's company banquet, Lynn Group's big night. Yet I was told to help staff. My stepmother, Miranda, said it kindly enough. It's better you keep busy. She likes me to be busy when important people come. It keeps me out of sight. I carry a tray past the glitter. Men in suits laugh with my father. My stepsister, Kara, floats in a silver dress that looks like moonlight. She leans close to powerful men and calls them uncle, though none are related. She has that gift. "Smile, Kara," whispers as she passes me. "We're family. Don't embarrass us." Her perfume is sweet. It turns bitter when she looks at me again. I'm about to move on when a waiter bumps my shoulder. My tray shakes. 2 glasses fall. I catch one. The other explodes on the floor like a little star. "Sorry," the waiter says, but his eyes slide past me. Another waiter is watching from the corner. Not a waiter, I realize. His jacket is too sharp. His shoes are too clean. He nods at the first man. They are not here to serve drinks. A sharp sting warms my throat. I swallow. It tastes wrong, like fruit that's gone bad. Suddenly my skin feels too tight. Sounds grow loud, then far away. I set the tray down and grip the table edge. "Are you okay?" a woman asks. "Fine," I lie. I'm not fine. My heart beats like a trapped bird. I slip out a side door into the cool night. Air hits my face and I breathe hard. The alley behind the hotel smells like rain and gasoline. I lean on a brick wall and close my eyes. A man stumbles out the other door and nearly falls. He's tall, in a black suit, his tie half loose. His eyes are dark and bright at the same time, like he's awake inside a dream. "Help," he says. His voice is low but urgent. "Someone drugged me." The words shake me. Not just me, then. 2 shadows rush the corner. Footsteps, fast. The man catches my wrist. "Please." I don't know him. I should run back inside, tell security, call the police. Something normal. But something in his eyes is clear, even when everything else is not. He looks like a man used to giving orders, not begging for help. He looks scared for the first time. "This way," I say, and pull him into the service corridor. It smells of bleach and steam. My head swims. The lights buzz. He leans on the wall and breathes hard. I hold him up, though my hands are shaking. We hear voices behind us, angry and close. We move again. Down the hall, through a laundry room, out a staff exit into a narrow back lane. The city is a broken mirror here. Little puddles catching light. He is heavy on my shoulder, but he tries to stand on his own. He looks at me like I am the only real thing left. "Your name?" he asks. "Rachel," I say. "Rachel," he repeats like he is tying a knot. He swallows. "I'm James." We cut through another door, into a storage room where old chairs sleep in stacks. I push the bolt. Silence at last. Thick and cold. He takes something from his pocket. It's a ring. Pure metal, not showy, but strong. There's a tiny green stone inside the band, hidden unless you know to look. "If I don't make it to the morning, keep this safe." His hand shakes as he places it in my palm. His fingers are warm and cold at the same time. What is this? "My promise." He looks at me like he is trying to see my face through fog. "I will come back for you," he says softly, like a vow he has used before and never broken. "I'll take responsibility for you." His lips form the words as his body sags. The drug drags him down. It drags me down, too. "I don't need," I start, but my voice is far away. "Trust me," he whispers. "No matter what they say tomorrow, trust me." The world tilts. I feel the room spin slow like a carousel with no music. I sit on the floor with him because my knees won't hold me. The ring warms my hand. Shouts passed outside the door, then fade. We don't move. When I wake, the storage room is a gray box, filled with the sigh of mourning. The bolt is still in place. The man, James, is gone. There is an imprint on the dusty floor where he lay. The ring lies in my palm like it never left. Was it a dream? My body says no. My head feels hammered. My skin feels wrong. I wash my face in a cracked sink and look in a dull mirror. My eyes look older than last night. I leave by the alley. A cleaner hurries past me without a glance. The city is awake now. By noon, the whole country is awake to him. Every screen and every shop window shows James Ho, chairman of Apex Holdings, the richest man in Harbor City, maybe the whole young country. He stands at a podium with cameras around him. He looks like a storm about to start. 10 months ago, I was framed, and on that night, a woman saved me. He holds up a picture of a ring. My ring. The hidden green stone glints like an eye. She wore this, he says. Find her, and she will be my wife. I will make her the most honored woman in this country. My heart still goes. The crowd on the street gasps like one creature. A reporter shouts, "Mr. Ho, are you sure?" His mouth is a straight line. I keep my word. People around me murmur, point, whisper. I close my fingers around the ring until it hurts. I want to laugh and cry at the same time. Last night was real. He remembers. He's looking for me. I should feel safe. I don't. Because while the world stares at a screen, someone else is staring at me. Rachel, a smooth voice says behind me. I turn. Miranda. Her smile is a paper cut. Kara stands beside me. Silver dress changed now to white, like she's already wearing a crown. Miranda's eyes flick to my fist. What do you have there? Nothing, I say. I try to step away. 2 men in black block the path. Not hotel staff. Not police. I know those shoes now. You embarrassed us last night. You ran off. You made a scene. I was sick. Someone... Oh, poor girl. Her voice is soft enough to make me shake. Always the victim. Kara's laugh is light, like ice in a glass. Everyone knows the news now. A woman with a magical ring. How funny if a certain country girl started believing fairy tales. They think I'm weak. They think I won't speak. But the ring is hot in my hand, and James's promise beats like a second pulse in my wrist. It's not a fairy tale, I say. Kara's smile twitches. No, then show us your treasure. I hide my hand behind me. People bump past on the sidewalk, nobody looking long. The screens keep talking. The world loves a story until it's messy right next to them. Miranda's face hardens. Come, she says. Your father is waiting. Where? At home, she says. To disown you. The word hits like a slap. I open my mouth. No sound comes out. The men in black step closer. I clutch the ring so hard it leaves a mark in my palm. I remember James's whisper. No matter what they say tomorrow, trust me. I swallow. I lift my chin. I'm not going, I say. Miranda's smile disappears. You don't have a choice. A hand closes on my arm. I twist away. Let go! Kara leans in. Her voice is sugar over venom. You should have stayed in the kitchen, Rachel. You don't belong in the light. She nods at the men. Take her. Their fingers bite. The crowd finally looks, not to help, only to watch. Strangers love a show. Help! I shout. Please! A siren wails far off. A bus roars by. The sky is a pale knife. They drag me toward a black car. I drop the ring into my shoe. The door opens. The inside is dark. Miranda's perfume floats like poison. Kara checks her phone, then looks up, her eyes bright with something that is not joy. Say goodbye to your little dream, she whispers. The car door slams. The lock clicks. The Lynn house is too clean for humans. It looks like a showroom with our faces glued on. We used to be a real family here. That was before my mother died. That was before my father married Miranda and changed the locks on his heart. He sits now in his study like a stranger wears his skin. He won't look at me. He stares at the fireplace, although there is no fire. Dad, I say. My voice echoes. He lifts a hand without raising his eyes. You brought shame. I was drugged, I say. Ask security. Ask the hotel. Someone. Miranda stands behind him like a tall shadow. You see, always excuses. Kara leans in the doorway, bored. She ran off last night, she says. Who knows what she did? My father's jaw tightens. Enough. I step closer. Dad, please, look at me. He does, finally. His eyes are tired. Not old. Tired like he's been climbing the wrong mountain for years. We tried. We gave you chances. But this, his hand shakes in the air. Pregnant before marriage? Running out with strange men? You make me a joke. The word pregnant makes the floor tilt. I press my palm to my belly without meaning to. I don't even know. I only know the night was wrong, and morning was empty, and now this. Dad, listen, he says. The board is nervous. Kara is going to help me calm them. Kara smiles like a victory flag. We have new investors. They like clean stories. Miranda's voice turns soft again, which is when it's most dangerous. We will not throw you on the street. We are not animals. Take your things. Go back to the village house. Rest. Stay quiet. Later, we will think. I know what later means in her mouth. It means never. You can't send me away, I say. My father flinches like the word father hit him. He turns his face back to the empty fireplace. Go with dignity, he says. Do not force my hand. Your hand? I whisper. Miranda is the one pulling it. His shoulders knot. He does not deny it. Miranda's smile widens. Driver is ready. Kara checks her nails. And Rachel? One more thing. She points to the pearl bracelet I wear. It was my mother's. That's a Lynn family heirloom. It belongs here. I clasp it tighter. It was Mom's. Everything that belonged to your mother belongs to the family. And the family is us. I slip the bracelet into my pocket and walk out without looking back. Dignity is the only thing no one can repossess if you hold it hard enough. I keep it like a fragile egg in both hands. The driver does not speak. The city peels away to gray. The Qingha village sign appears like a bruise. Old men in plastic chairs watch the road. Old women watch the old men. Everyone watches me. Look who came back, someone says. The Lynn girl, the pretty one with bad luck. That one? I heard she got pregnant with no husband. Someone spits. Someone laughs. A door slams. I walk with my bag up the dusty lane. Chickens run across like white ghosts. The house at the end was my grandmother's once. It looks smaller now, like grief shrank it. I push the door. The hinge screams like a warning. The inside smells of old wood and rain. The bed is a wooden board with a thin blanket. I sit. The bracelet in my pocket cuts my palm. I take it out, kiss it, and hide it under a loose floorboard, with the ring still in my shoe. 2 treasures under 2 feet of dust. That is what my life is now. Proof I am not crazy, hidden under a plank. At dusk, I walk to the little store to buy rice and tea. The owner looks at me like I brought a disease. Cash, he says. I nod and try to pay. The machine chirps red. Declined. I say try again. Red again. The owner shrugs. Go ask your rich family for cash. He gives the bag to the next customer. Nobody meets my eyes. I leave with empty hands. On the corner, 3 girls whisper. One points to my flat stomach and makes a round belly shape with her hands. I breathe through my nose and keep walking. At night, the house groans. Wind sifts through the roof. I lie awake and count the seconds between the creaks like counting waves until a storm passes. It does not pass. I wake before the sun and go to the city because if I stay here, I will turn to salt. The bus is old and shakes like it's laughing. I stand because there are no seats. Men in cheap suits sleep with open mouths. A baby cries, the mother rocks him and sings a soft, tired song. I hold the rail and close my eyes and say nothing to no one. Harbor City is too big to care about. It eats people and spits out shoes. I get off near the financial district because that is where Apex Holdings is. The towers are silver knives. The street is a river of black cars. People move in packs with coffee cups like armor. I ask a guard at the first tower, "Excuse me, do you know Apex?" He looks at me and steps back. "You smell." It hits me then. I have a village on me. Smoke and dust and fear. I want to apologize to his clean air. I need to find Mr. Hua. The words sound ridiculous in the sunlight. The guard laughs once, a short bark. You and every other person today. Please, just tell me. A hand brushes my bag. I turn. A girl in a baseball cap pretends to check her phone. My bag is open. My wallet is gone. Stop! I shout. Thief! The girl runs. People step aside to let her pass. No one helps. I chase anyway because everything in my life is running away. Stop! I yell again. A man in a dark jacket sticks his leg out. The girl trips. My wallet skids. I scoop it up and pant, "Thank you!" He nods and walks off like it's nothing. I watch him go and realize his walk is graceful, like a dancer or a fighter. He turns a corner and disappears. Back on the main street, a woman with glossy hair gives me a look from head to toe. Country girl, she says to her friend in a low voice, but not low enough. They come to the city and think someone owes them something. I swallow the hot thing that pushes up my throat. I do not let it out. The Apex building is stricter than a bank. Guards everywhere. Glass gates. A huge wall screen showing numbers and James Hua's face from the press conference loop. The ring fills the screen again. Greenstone bright like a tiny forest. I step forward. "Please," I say to the receptionist. "I need to see Mr. Hua. It's important." She smiles like a robot. "Do you have an appointment?" "No, but I don't dare say I have the ring. If I pull it from my shoe and hold it up, what then? 100 hands might reach? Everyone in the city knows that picture now." "I'm sorry," she says. "He isn't taking visitors." "Please, I saved him once." Her smile does not break. We hear that many times a day. Something moves to my left. A group steps out of a private elevator. 5 men, 2 women, all speed and purpose. One woman is Kara. She sees me and freezes, like a deer in white light, then smiles. "Sister," she says, sweet as spoiled fruit. "I thought you were resting in the village." People at the desk look up. 2 security guards step closer, hands near their belts. A tall man in a slim suit walks behind Kara, face hidden by sunglasses. He takes them off. Adrian Hua, nephew of James, the city's most famous playboy. The press calls him golden. I always thought he looked like a coin that rolled under a table. "Well, well," he says. "The Lin orphan returns." I ignore him. "Kara, I need to see Mr. Hua." "You? To see James?" She turns to Adrian like she's telling a funny story at a party. She thinks she is the woman with the ring. Adrian smirks. Are you? I open my mouth. My shoe is heavy with truth. My courage is small but alive. I begin. Carrot cuts me off. Security, she says gently. This young woman is disturbing our workday. Could you help her leave? Wait, Adrian says, amused. Maybe she can help us. He steps closer until I can see the pale stubble on his jaw. We have a friend upstairs, a manager who loves to help poor girls who want big dreams. His words slide like oil. My skin crawls. This is not help. It is a trap with soft cushions. I don't want your help, I say. He shrugs. You want to see James? I can arrange that. One step before another. Kara's eyes glitter. I'll make the call. Manager Joe would be honored to meet you. I step back. No. But 3 security guards are behind me now, and the receptionist is saying, please don't make a scene. And Kara is saying, sister, I'm doing this for you. And Adrian is saying, we'll make sure you are comfortable. A door opens, a private corridor. Manager Joe waits at the end, smiling with too many teeth. I look for any friendly face. There aren't any. My shoe presses into the ring. I feel it shape through the sole like a heartbeat under stone. Don't touch me, I tell the guard. Miss, this way, please. Kara leans in, whispering so only I can hear. It's the only way to the top, Rachel. I breathe once, twice, 3 times. Fine, I say, because sometimes the only way to break a trap is to walk in and spring it, then climb out when everyone is looking the other way. But I go alone. Adrian laughs. Of course. Kara smiles like a cat at a mouse who thinks it is brave. I walk down the corridor. Manager Zhao opens the door to a quiet room. It smells like new leather and old lies. Please, he says, waving me in. I step inside. The door clicks behind me. The lock turns. Manager Zhao's smile does not reach his eyes. Chapter 3. The door that wouldn't open. The lock clicks behind me like a small, mean laugh. Manager Zhou's office looks calm in the way a trap looks calm. Everything is soft. Gray carpet, leather chairs, a glass table with a single white orchid. He closes the door and turns the handle once more as if checking the lid on a jar. Rachel, is it? His smile shows every tooth. Kara told me all about you. She said you're motivated. I'm here to discuss work, I say. My voice sounds steady. My hands don't feel steady at all. My shoe presses the ring against my skin. It helps. It reminds me I have truth hidden under my heel. Of course, he says. Work. He pours sparkling water into 2 tall glasses and slides one toward me. A toast to your bright future. I keep my hands at my sides. No, thank you. He studies me as if I am a puzzle he wants to finish quickly. You know, he says, in this city, doors don't open just because someone knocks. People open them. He takes a step closer. People like me. If the door doesn't open for talent, I say, it's the wrong door. His smile thins. For a second, something sharp flickers in his eyes. Then the mask returns. He circles me once, like a slow-bored cat. The air feels heavier. I could get you a direct audience with Mr. Huo, he says. Today, 10 minutes from now. He's here for a negotiation. But influence has a price. He puts one hand on the arm of my chair, not touching me. Too close. I stand. Then I'll pay with hard work. He chuckles. So idealistic. Another step. You ran away from your father's banquet last night. Did you think no one saw? This is your chance to fix your reputation. I don't need you to clean me, I say quietly. I need you to step back. He doesn't. His smile breaks, and in its place, I see what he really is. A man who thinks power is a hand that pushes and a mouth that takes. He reaches for my shoulder. I move first. I grab the water glass and fling it at the orchid. The glass shatters. Water beads on the petals like tears, then falls. In the same motion, I pivot to the door. The handle won't turn. He laughs, low and pleased, and catches my wrist. "Don't make it hard," he murmurs. "Everyone wants something. Don't you want yours?" The room shrinks. My breath comes fast. I twist, hard, and my heel slips. The small ring inside my shoe skates forward, then pops free. I stumble and kick, and the small metal circle flashes under the table, hits the chair leg, and spins to a stop with a bright, soft clink. Manager Joe doesn't notice the sound, but I do. My heart jumps into my throat. The ring lies in the open on the gray carpet, plain and brave, the secret green stone facing the ceiling like an eye that sees everything. He yanks me back. "Scream, and you'll be out of the building in 5 minutes. Blacklisted everywhere by noon." I don't scream. I breathe. Then I bring my knee up, fast, the way my mother taught me once in the kitchen when a drunk delivery driver got handsy. He grunts and folds a little. It's not enough to stop him, but it's enough for me to slip my arm free and slam my palm against the red emergency bar under the window. Alarms do not ring. The window does not open. Of course it doesn't. This office is a safe, and I'm the thing to be locked. Footsteps pass in the hall. "Help!" I shout anyway. "Help me!" "Quiet," Manager Joe hisses, lunging. The door bangs. It doesn't open. A second bang. The handle rattles. Then a voice, flat and dangerous. "Open it." Manager Joe stiffens. "Who?" The door explodes inward. Not with a bomb, just with force, as if someone decided the idea of a door was an insult. 2 security men in black rush in first. Behind them stands James Huo. He looks exactly like he did on the screens. He looks nothing like a screen. In person, he is colder and warmer at once, like a storm with a center of stillness. His eyes flick from Zhou's hand to my face to the room, reading a whole story. "Mr. Huo," Zhou bleats, rearranging his features into a smile, "we were just discussing—" James's gaze slides past him and lands on the ring under the table. Time slows. He sees it. He recognizes it. I feel the moment hit him like lightning that no one else can hear. His pupils contract, then widen. Breath lifts his chest, then locks. "Remove him," James says without raising his voice. The guards grab him. He sputters. "Sir, it's a misunderstanding. Remove him from the company and the city." The guards don't ask for clarification. They know what he means. The room empties of everything foul in one sweep. Then it is just us, and the open door, and the ring on the floor like a dropped heart. James steps closer. He does not reach for me. He reaches for the ring. He picks it up carefully, as if it might break in his hand if he is careless. He turns it over. The tiny green stone catches the ceiling light and throws it back as a small promise. He looks up slowly. His eyes are not a storm now. They are a question. "This," he says, and his voice, which could order the world to move, shakes just a little, "is yours?" I want to say yes. My mouth opens. 1,000 things pour through it. Fear, pride, the memory of an alley that smelled like rain, a promise whispered in the dark. Footsteps pound in the corridor. Kara appears at the door, breathless with fake worry. Adrian looms behind, amused as always. "Mr. Huo," Kara cries, "I am so sorry. My sister, Rachel, has been unstable. We tried to stop her, but—" James does not look at her. He looks at me as if I'm the only person in the room again. "Is this yours?" he asks once more, lower now, a private question in a crowded place. I pull air into my lungs. I lift my chin. "Yes," I say. "You gave it to me." Kara laughs. bright and terrible. Oh, come on! This is embarrassing! Adrian claps slowly. What theater? What a day! A phone vibrates somewhere. A desk screen lights up. Across the office, a scrolling news bar appears under a conference channel. Apex Holdings to review partnership with Lynn Group. Meeting delayed. Kara's lives stop laughing. James closes his hand around the ring until his knuckles whiten. Then he looks at me. Not away, not at the screens, at me. Can you walk? He asks. I nod, though my legs are water. Come with me, he says. Where? I ask. Somewhere quiet, he says, where the truth can speak. He steps towards me. The crowd parts out of habit. He is still the kind of man people move for, even on a day the screens call him broken. My shoe is light now. My heart is heavier than the whole city. I take one step. Kara's voice cuts through like a knife slipping under skin. Be careful, sister, she trills. Men say many things when they are falling. I take another step anyway. We walk past the whispering screens towards the private elevator, towards a truth that just found us, and a lie the whole city wants to believe.
The wedding that wasn't. If you want to know the shape of a lie, watch how fast people run toward it. By evening, every cafe screen and taxi radio says the same thing. James Huo is finished. By nightfall, the headlines have sprouted teeth. The fall of a king. From apex to ashes. Rich man, poor promise. Strangers in the street say his name like a thrill. They love a toppled statue. They love to pose beside it and point. James does not explain. He takes me to a car with black windows and silence inside. Leo's front seat and answers 4 phones at once with his eyes. The driver does not look in the mirror. Is it true? I ask softly when the door closes. James watches the city slide by. Lights smudge the glass like wet paint. Truth, he says, does not always travel first. Then what is this? I ask. A test? A trap? Another person's plot. His jaw tightens. It's a noise, he says. Someone blew a whistle to see who runs. The whole world is running, I say. Good, he says. His voice is iron. I wanted to see their faces. I stare at him. He turns and I realize he's not talking about strangers. He's talking about family. Who? I ask. He looks back at the window. We'll know by morning. We drive to an apartment that pretends to be ordinary. It has warm lamps and a kitchen that smells like tea. I stand in the doorway and all the muscles in my back unclench at once. I didn't know I'd been holding my own bones up all day. This is safe, James says. He says it like a fact, not a comfort. I swallow. I don't want to be a problem. You are not a problem, he says. You are the reason a lot of problems will end. My heart splits in two at that. One half is hope, the other half is fear of hope. Leo brings soup and a blanket, and then he leaves us with a thin stack of documents on the coffee table. Legal notices, shareholder statements, a printout of the morning's meeting agenda with Lynn Group underlined in red and canceled stamped across it. I don't touch any of it. I take the soup to the small balcony instead and sit on a chair with peeling paint. The city hums below. A plane draws a white line across the sky so straight it must be a lie. Inside, James speaks quietly on the phone. I don't listen. He says, "Mother," once, then "no," then nothing for a long time. When he hangs up, he steps out to the balcony and leans on the rail next to me without asking to share the silence. It is the kindest thing he does all day. Tell me something true, I say. He thinks. When I was a child, my mother made me clean the floors with a brush because a mop misses corners. That is such a small, strange truth that I believe all the ones it unlocks. My mother, I say, taught me how to make an escape tool from a hairpin and a prayer. We both smile at the same time. It hurts less when we do it together. What happens now? I ask. Tomorrow, my nephew gets married. Kara, I say, and the name is a bitter seed on my tongue. Kara, he agrees. He doesn't say her name like a person. He says it like a problem on a board he plans to erase. They sent a printed invitation to the office, perhaps to gloat. You're going? I ask, shocked. Yes, he says. You should come. I choke on air. Why would I? No. No, James. Your family, my family, if we walk into that ballroom together, they will slice me with their eyes. They already do, he says simply. But this time we won't go to be cut. We'll go to cut the rope. What rope? The one around your throat, he says. The one around mine. He leaves the balcony, returns with a small box, and places it on my lap. Inside is the ring, the one that began all of this. It looks different in the soft apartment light. Warmer, more human. I can't take it, I whisper. Not now, not with the news. Especially now, he says. Most people only keep promises when it is easy. I only make them when it is hard. We barely know each other because someone has to say the ordinary thing. He nods. So we'll learn in the open, where everyone can see, and we won't hide like thieves. He takes a breath that sounds like a risk. Rachel, he says, and my name in his mouth is a bridge across a river I've stood on the bank of for years. Will you marry me? I stare at the ring. It lies in its box like a question mark made of light. This is crazy, I whisper. Yes, he says. It is also the only honest move left. Honest? I lift my eyes. You won't even tell the city you're not broke. A muscle jumps in his jaw. If I deny it, the rats will scurry back into the walls. I want to see them in the light. You're using me as a light, I say. I expect to hate him for it. Instead, I am only tired. I'm asking you to stand with me, he says. I will carry the cost that is mine. You will carry the cost that is yours. Together, maybe it will stop being a cost and start being a way forward. It is the strangest proposal I have ever heard. It is the most honest. It doesn't promise safety. It promises an equal weight. I don't want to be a lesson for your enemies. You'll be my wife, he replies, not my weapon. I look at my hands. They are not soft hands. They have scrubbed floors and carried bags and held on to nothing and something at the same time. They have shaken. They are steady now. Fine, I say, and my voice surprises me. I'll marry you, but on one condition. Name it. You never leave me in the dark again. If you are testing me, tell me. If you are bleeding, tell me. If you are falling, tell me. If you lie to the world, fine, but you don't lie to me. His eyes change. The storm in them eases. Agreed, he says. He does not touch me. He does not kiss me. He lets the words be the touch. We go to the wedding the next day. White flowers? Everywhere. They look like snow punched into vases. The ballroom is full of faces that love money and mirrors. The musicians play a song that sounds expensive and empty. Miranda glides among guests like a queen who got her crown on sale. Kara stands at the front in the dress that spills light onto the floor. Adrian is perfect beside her, a magazine cover with a heartbeat. When we enter, the room tilts toward us, like a field to the wind. Whispers buzz, phones tilt half an inch to catch us without looking like they are catching us. Somewhere, a reporter smiles. Miranda's smile freezes. Then it cracks and reforms like ice over a river. James, she says, sweet as rot. We didn't expect you, darling. Such a difficult week. Miranda, he says, politely. Where is Mr. Lin? Busy, counting his blessings. Counting your sins, I murmur. She pretends not to hear. Kara sweeps down the steps, eyes wide, mouth small, hands folded like an angel about to be very cruel. Sister, she sighs, you look brave. Brave? I echo. To come here, on your ex's wedding day. She says ex, as if I belonged to Adrian and he misplaced me like an umbrella. I open my mouth to burn back. The James's fingers brush air near mine. Not touching, a presence that says, wait. We wait. The officiant clears his throat. The strings pluck a softer song. The lights dim a degree as if the electricity itself wants to watch. Friends, the officiant says, we are here to... He stops because every screen in the hall lights at once. A banner slides across, bold and red. Breaking. Apex collapse confirmed. Investors flee as Huo family divides. Gasps roll through the room. The banner changes in a flicker. Huo nephew Adrian steps up as new face of family. Every head turns toward Adrian. He lifts his chin half an inch and tries to look humble. It looks like smugness holding a napkin. James does not move. Kara's always glitter. She lifts her bouquet as if to throw it at my face. Adrian clears his throat and speaks without the microphone, but his voice carries anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, as a precaution for our guests and vendors, we will delay the ceremony briefly. Family matters call. He looks at James with a smile that could peel paint. Uncle, a private word. By all means. He doesn't look at Adrian. He looks at me. Will you wait here? Yes, I say. He and Leo walk out. Miranda follows, whispering like a leak under a door. Kara remains basking in attention that isn't hers and pretending to be scared of it. Guests begin to stir like bees in a hive about to swarm. A voice near me says, he should have stayed home. Another adds, think of the poor bride. Someone laughs. Someone else says, he had it coming, too proud. I stand very straight because if I bend, I will break. Kara drifts closer, voice honeyed. Sister, do you see now? Men like James are only strong in sunshine. I look her in the eyes, and for once, I don't see her. I see the part of myself that almost believed her last year, and 3 years ago, and as a child, and last night. That part is very small now, smaller than a seed. Almost gone. Then let's find out. What? She blinks. If he stands in the storm,
I say, you'll have to learn a new weather. Before she can spit back a clever insult, the side doors swing wide. Margaret Huo enters, James's mother, wearing a simple dark suit and the expression of a woman who once made a boy scrub floors with a brush. Behind her come 2 small satellites in formal clothes, a boy with serious eyes and a girl with a courage-shaped mouth. They look maybe 5. They look exactly like the future. They run past Margaret and throw themselves at my legs. "Mommy," the girl says. "Mommy, we found you," the boy adds proudly. The room inhales in one piece. I freeze. My hands half out, my heart entirely out. I begin, but the girl is already wrapping my knees and the boy is tugging my hand and Margaret is smiling for the first time, like the sun broke through a wall. "Children," she says, "this is Rachel Lynn. You will call her Mommy, because you will use the name you mean sooner or later, and I prefer sooner." Kara makes a sound like a kettle boiling dry. What trick is this? Those are... My mind tries to stand on 2 floors at once. Upstairs, logic. Downstairs, the kind of knowing that doesn't need doors. The little girl's hair smells like soap and apples. The boy's fingers curl exactly like mine did when I was small to hold on to something that might go away. The back of my throat burns. "Mommy," the girl repeats, small and sure. I don't know if this is a test. I don't know if this is a gift. I only know the word fits in my mouth like a key that was made there. "Yes," I say, and my voice cracks and heals on the same word. "Yes, sweetheart." Kara points at me as if pointing can make me vanish. "Security," she screeches. "Remove that woman. She's..." The doors open again. James returns. No microphone, no announcement, just a man with his sleeves rolled and his eyes steady, walking into a room that wants him to be ruined and refuses to get its wish. Leo steps to the side and taps his phone. The screens around the hall flicker and change to a live feed. The banner at the bottom reads, "Apex. Statement." James takes the small stage from the officiant as if stages are places where truth belongs. "Good evening," he says. "Thank you for your concern about my finances and my family. Both are fine." A laugh cuts the air and dies when no one joins it. "I will not discuss rumors," James continues, "but I will discuss character. Mine and my family's." He looks at Margaret. She nods once, a queen granting permission to the king she raised. "Today I am not here to talk about money," he says. "I am here to talk about a promise." He turns, he lifts his hand. The ring in his palm catches the chandelier light and throws it back, even brighter than the night in the storage room when he gave it to me the first time. "I made a promise to a woman," he says, and his voice is iron and water at once. "I am keeping it." He steps down from the stage and crosses the distance between us in 10 strides that everyone watches and no one can stop. "Rachel," he says, and my name is a bridge again, stronger this time, built with 1,000 quiet bricks he didn't advertise. "Will you be my wife, right now, in front of everyone who hopes we won't do hard things?" I don't think the room breathes for 5 entire seconds. Kara's face is a painting of someone trying to wake up from the wrong dream. Adrian's mouth is open. Miranda looks like a person who has practiced losing with grace and never needed to use the practice. The boy's fingers curl exactly like mine did when I was small, to hold on to something that might go away. The back of my throat burns. "Mommy," the girl repeats, small and sure. I don't know if this is a test. I don't know if this is a gift. I only know the word fits in my mouth like a key that was made there. "Yes," I say, and my voice cracks and heals on the same word. "Yes, sweetheart." Kara Pex, security strong. Rumors under investigation for market manipulation. Kara's mouth opens and closes like a bad puppet. Adrian's phone buzzes so hard he nearly drops it. Miranda sits down very slowly, like a queen practicing losing with grace. "By the power vested in me," the officiant says weakly, "I now pronounce you family," Margaret says firmly from the front row. And I think that word may be the only one that ever mattered to her. James looks at me as if the world fell off its axis and found a new one that suits it better. We kiss once, small, real. The musicians, lost and found, begin to play. At the edge of the room, a woman in a black suit lifts a tablet to her ear and whispers, "Proceed." Somewhere far away, a warehouse door rolls up and a crate with my mother's keepsakes is carried toward a stage.
We don't go on a honeymoon. We go home to a kitchen with 2 bowls and 4 chopsticks and a note on the fridge that says, in Margaret's tidy hand, "No shrimp." Under it, 2 drawings, a princess with wild hair and a knight with big ears. The knight has a label in wobbly letters, "Dad." The princess has a crown that says, "Mom." The kids, Dylan and Emma, arrived at the wedding like they were delivered by weather. Now they live in my lap, in my sleeves, in the space under my elbow when I stir soup. I don't know how to be a mother. They don't know how not to be my children. We meet in the middle and call it love. 3 days after the wedding, the city stops screaming and starts whispering. The rumor didn't hold. The rats didn't make it back to the walls fast enough. Some are still blinking on the floor, dazed by the daylight James poured on them. We could go back to the tower and the black cars and the glass rooms that never need dusting. James says no. "Why?" I ask, standing in our tiny kitchen, holding a carrot like a microphone. "Because the test isn't over," he says, drying a plate with a thin towel as if plates deserved respect. "Not for me,
not for us. I sigh. So we'll be poor on purpose? He corrects. We'll be ordinary on purpose. There's a difference. Margaret approves too loudly to be accidental. She actually visits with a cloth bag of vegetables and 2 stacks of bills she pretend are coupons. She eyes our bed like an inspector checking a bridge. You two sleep together? She asks Dylan and Emma, as if we are the children. Emma nods, solemn. Mommy and Daddy share. Good, Margaret says. A marriage is a house. You can't live in only one room. She comes every day for a week and forgets her cleaning uniform every time. One morning, I wake to find her scrubbing the stairwell of the building while humming a tune that is not happy, not sad, and somehow not either. A woman from the 3rd floor leans out. Old lady, she calls, we have staff for that. Do they clean corners? Margaret asks without looking up. The woman blinks. I don't know. Then they don't clean, Margaret says and keeps scrubbing. In the afternoon, James takes the children to the park and comes back with 2 strangers, a man with a limp and a woman with wrists like pencils. He gives them jobs that have not been invented yet. The man becomes our building's nightlight inspector. The woman becomes assistant to the corner cleaning supervisor. Margaret signs her new title with a flourish on a paper that does not exist. The woman cries and laughs at the same time. Emma gives her a sticker from her collection and says, "For your badge." "James," I say when the house is quiet, "people will say you are playing the hero." "Let them," he says. "If it gives someone a paycheck and someone else a clean stairwell, I don't mind being misread." I look at him as he ties an apron around his waist and burns the eggs for the 3rd time in a week. I realize I don't mind being misread either, as long as the ones who matter know the truth. Speaking of being misread, Kara does not rest. 2 days after the wedding, she calls a press conference in a mall dressed like a fairy at a funeral. She lifts a necklace to the cameras, blue stone, impossible shine, and declares with tragic eyes that it once lay on the neck of a queen. She calls it the heart of the ocean. She says her beloved gifted it to her. The crowd sighs. I turn off the screen. That necklace is a lie, I tell Dylan, who is building a tower out of cups, and Emma, who is drawing a cat that looks like a very round cloud. Lots of people like pretty lies, Dylan says without looking up. Where did you learn that? Grandma, he says reasonably. That same afternoon, Leo arrives with a list. He knocks like a friend and enters like a storm carrying papers. Updates, he says, dropping onto our couch, which squeaks like a mouse trying to complain politely. 1. Mr. Wong has filed a complaint against you, Rachel. 2. Mrs. Miranda is moving on from a few assets that are, clutter. 3. A charity auction is scheduled in 3 days. Jewelry, art, and some items marked as from the Lynn Private Collection. The list includes a jade hairpin, a pearl bracelet, and a red lacquer jewelry box with a broken hinge. I stopped breathing on the last one because the hinge on my mother's box broke when I was 12 and cried because I thought I ruined history. She kissed my forehead and said, "History wears its scars like people do. It just keeps going." Miranda is selling my mother's things, I say. The room tilts. My chair becomes a cliff. She can't, I say. She can, Leo says gently, unless we stop her. How? We go to the auction, Jen Samson in the kitchen doorway. His sleeves are rolled up. There is flour on his wrist. Receipts? I echo. Memory is soft. Paper is hard. We'll make them meet. And the days before the auction, Margaret insists on taking us shopping. Shopping turns into a visit to the most expensive mall in Harbor City, where the air smells like leather and money and sober perfume. I try to leave before we enter. Margaret herds me like a sheepdog in pearls. Your enemies dress their lies in silk, she says. We will not dress the truth in rags. I don't need silk, I mutter. No, she says. You need armor that looks like silk. The first boutique greets us with the kind of smile they use on people who come to take pictures, not buy. A saleswoman with eyebrows like commas looks me up and down and then looks at Margaret's worn shoes and writes a small story in her head where we're extras. We have an appointment, Margaret says calmly, for Miss Rachel Who. The woman's smile slides 1 inch higher. A minute later, a manager appears at a dead run, flushed and beaming, speaking too fast. Mrs. Who, Miss Who, so honored, so honored. Please, please, we prepared a private room, champagne, sparkling water, milk for the children. The saleswoman blinks, and to her credit, she recovers in 3 seconds and becomes the most helpful person in the building. We try on dresses I can't pronounce the color of. We do not buy them. Borrow, Margaret says when I hesitate. Money returns. Character does not. Halfway through the parade, Kara sweeps in with Adrian like 2 storms pretending to be sunlight. She stops when she sees me and rearranges her face into pity. Adrian rearranges his into amusement. Well, Kara says, this is brave. Racks like these are for people with credit. Credit is a promise you already kept yesterday, I say, so I suppose I have plenty. She laughs. Security, she calls sweetly. These people are disturbing the peace. The manager appears behind her like a magic trick performed by capitalism. Miss Lynn, he says gently, we'll have to ask you to leave. Kara freezes. Me? Yes, miss, he says. We have he clears his throat, a family policy today. Adrian steps forward. You know who I am? Yes, the manager says. That is why I am asking politely. Kara blusters. Adrian sneers. Security glides. 10 seconds later, the glass doors swallow them and the boutique breathes again. Was that necessary? I whispered to Margaret. I feel bad for the saleswoman with comma eyebrows. She did not invent this all. No, Margaret says, it was educational. On the way home, James peels off to run an errand. He returns 2 hours later with nothing in his hands and something satisfied in his eyes. What did you do? I ask. He says, moved money, but not where anyone expects. Every time you don't explain, a small part of me dies, I tell him. He kisses my forehead and says, I'll resurrect it later with receipts. In the night, when the children are asleep and Margaret snores like a small engine on the couch, she refused to give up because the old know how to be uncomfortable. James and I sit on the floor with the coffee table between us and my mother's ghost in the room. I pull out the pearl bracelet I hid under the village floorboard and the hairpin she taught me to use as a key and a last resort. James lays out documents.
Photos with date stamps, ownership certificates, a will that a lawyer wrote and my father ignored because grief makes people easy to steer. Will this be enough? I ask. It will be the truth, he says. If they don't accept it, we will make them. I want to be the kind of woman who does not cry when thinking about a wooden jewelry box with a broken hinge. I am not that woman. I cry quietly. James does not tell me to be strong. He passes me a tissue and says, Your mother made good things. That's why they want them. 3 days pass like a drum. The Jadely charity auction is a palace stuck in time. Chandeliers drip, waiters skate, cameras float like birds looking for shiny prey. At the door, a guard holds out his hand for my invitation. I give him a black card. He looks at it like his boss looks at him. "This is not the invitation," he says. "No," I agree. "It's the other one." "Ma'am, there is no other one?" Before my bones can turn to ice, a woman in a headset runs over and whispers in the guard's ear. He blanches, nods 3 times, and steps aside so fast he almost bows to gravity. "Welcome," he says. "Please come in." Inside, the auctioneer smiles like a man who never says the wrong number. On the 3rd row, Miranda preens. In the 2nd row, Kara wears the blue necklace like a sin she wants blessed. At the back, Adrian leans on a column and texts someone who makes the weather at Banks. James stands beside me, not quite touching, hands in pockets, eyes taking the measure of the room and the people in it and the lies they carried in like expense. The auction begins with paintings I pretend to understand and vases that make quiet people sigh. Then the assistant carries a red lacquered jewelry box to the stage, and my ribs turn to wire. "Lot 27, the auctioneer says, "from the Lynn Private Collection." The hinge glints under the lights. It is still broken. It is still beautiful. "Opening bid," he says, 200,000. 500, Miranda says, bored already. "1 million, Kara sings. Eyes on me. 10 million, James says, as if buying back a piece of my childhood is a thing he does between sips of water. Gasps ripple. "Sir," the auctioneer says carefully, "are you 100 million, James says, because sometimes the fastest way to stop a game is to end it with a number too big to argue with." Someone tugs my sleeve. An assistant with trembling hands leans in. "Ma'am," she whispers, "a phone bid just came in. Anonymous. 1 billion. The room forgets how to whisper. It roars. Kara turns the color of paper. Miranda grips her clutch so hard I hear a thread snap. Adrian's phone slides an inch. The auctioneer says sold before the number finishes falling out of the assistant's mouth because even greed knows when it has reached a precipice. "Who would—" I begin. "Someone who wants the box to go to the right hands," James says. He doesn't smile, but his eyes are not dark. I swallow. My throat tastes like salt, and old wood, and a kitchen where a woman taught a girl to pry open locked things. "Rachel," James says very quietly, "ready for the second half of the show?" "What is the second half?" I ask, afraid and brave at the same time. He nods to Leo. Leo nods to a technician. The screens behind the auctioneer blink and change. The blue necklace appears 10 feet tall. The caption under it reads, "Replica, crafted 20 years ago by Master Chen. Market value, 500. Under that, 3 photos of the real piece in a museum catalog wearing a different history. The room stops pretending to be polite. Miranda leaps to her feet. "Lies," she cries. "This is slander. My necklace is—" A man in the front row stands. He is older than money and less kind. "I authenticated that piece last year. It is a fake." Kara's voice breaks like bad glass. "Adrian," she hisses, "do something." Adrian is very busy looking at a notification on his phone that says SEC calling. The auctioneer clears his throat and tries to point attention back to selling lovely things to people without lovely hearts. The crowd resists because nothing is more sellable than shame. "Rachel Lynn," Miranda says over the noise, standing, turning to face me with the smile of a woman who will not lose a war even if she loses a battle. "If you want trash, take it. We are making space for new." I step into the aisle. I do not raise my voice. People lean forward anyway. "You keep saying the word new," I tell Miranda softly, "but the only new thing about you is the amount of lies you can carry without your spine breaking." A few people laugh, the kind of laugh they only let out when they smell victory. "Security!" Miranda snaps. 10 black suits turn toward me. James says 3 words, almost lazy. "Don't be foolish." The black suits turn away as if someone moved a magnet in the ceiling. I should feel safe. I do not feel safe. Because at the edge of the room, where light and shadow shake hands, Kara lifts her phone, types a single word to a number labeled W, and hits send. An answer pings back from across the city. "Tonight." And on the far side of town, a man named Wang stirs something into a glass and smiles.
The auction ends with whispers, glares, and cameras that cannot stop flashing. But I can feel something else moving under the floor, like rats when you stomp too loud. Kara's smile as she typed on her phone won't leave my head. She lost face today. She won't sleep until she claws mine off. That night, James has a meeting. Margaret takes the kids upstairs. I sit alone in the small apartment, the box for my mother on my lap. I trace the broken hinge with my finger until my eyes blur. The TV hums with news about Apex and rumors of internal division. The reporters don't know they are toys. A message buzzes on my phone. Unknown number. Come if you want to know the truth about your mother's death. Address attached. Tonight only. My chest goes cold. I know it's a trap. Every bone knows it. But my heart, which still aches with questions, pulls me up. I tuck the ring in my pocket, kiss Dylan and Emma while they sleep, and write a note for James. Went for air. Lies always start small. The address is an old office building on the edge of Harbor City. The windows are dark. A single light burns on the 3rd floor. I push the door. It creaks like a warning. Inside smells of dust and medicine. The elevator is dead. I climb the stairs. Each step says stop, but I keep going. On the 3rd floor, a door stands half open. A man's voice drifts out, low and smooth. "Rachel Lynn," it says. "Welcome." I step in. The room is bare, except for a table with 2 glasses. Mr. Wang sits in a chair too big for him, smiling like he owns the world. His eyes shine like a man who enjoys cages. "Sit," he says. "I'll stand." He shrugs. "Suit yourself. Would you like a drink?" I shake my head. He pours anyway, amber liquid that catches the dim light. "Do you know," he says, "your mother came to me once." The words hit me like cold water. "You're lying." "Am I?" He sips. "She asked for help with Lynn Group. She feared Miranda was moving pieces behind her back. I offered her a deal. She refused. Days later, an accident." He smiles with his teeth. I never believed in coincidence. My legs want to fold. My mouth tastes like metal. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because," he says, "history repeats. You need help. I offer it." His smile grows cruel. "This time, don't refuse." I step back. "I'd rather burn." "Ah," he says softly, "then you'll burn alone." He nods at the shadows. 2 men step out, broad and quiet. My heart slams. The door clicks shut. My hand goes to my pocket. The ring digs into my skin. James's promise breathes against my palm. "I'm not alone," I say, but my voice shakes. "Who will come?" Mr. Wang asks. "Your husband? He's finished. Your family? They sold you long ago. You're just a woman in the dark." The men move closer. One grabs my arm. I twist, kick, bite, fight like a cornered animal. A glass shatters. A shout echoes. The door bursts open. "Get away from her!" James's voice roars. He doesn't look like a man who lost a fortune. He looks like a storm with fists. He and Leo crash into the room. The men scatter. Mr. Wang curses and flees. I stumble into James's arms, shaking. "You shouldn't have come here," he says, gripping me tight. "I had to know," I whisper. "You will know," he says,
voice as hard as stone. But not from him. Behind us, the window breaks with a crack. A brick flies in. On it, a paper tied tight. James rips it open. The words inside are jagged. Next time, the children. My scream dies in my throat. Someone has found.
We run home. My lungs are fire. Every second is a blaze. What of the kids? What if... But Dylan and Emma are asleep on the couch, curled under Margaret's blanket. She snores beside them, broom leaning against the wall like a guard. Relief cracks my knees. I fall to the floor. James checks every window, every lock. Leo posts 2 men outside the door. Margaret wakes, scowls at the noise, then sees my face and softens. "They won't touch them," she says. "Not while I breathe." But fear doesn't leave. It sits in my chest like a stone. I stroke Emma's hair, Dylan's hand. I whisper promises I pray I can keep. Morning brings no peace. A news bomb explodes. DNA report shows Kara Lynn is mother of who children? The world goes wild. Headlines scream betrayal. Screens show Kara crying with perfect makeup, claiming she gave up her babies for family duty. My stomach twists. "That's impossible," I whisper. "I carried them. James takes my hand. "It's a forgery." But everyone believes her. They'll believe until they can't. His eyes are iron. We'll give them reason. Still, the whispers hurt. Neighbors glance at me with pity. Strangers mutter in the street. Even Dylan looks confused. "Mommy," he asks, "why does the TV say Auntie Kara is our mom?" My heart cracks. I pull him close. "Because the TV lies, sweetheart. I'm your mother. Don't forget that." Emma nods fiercely. "We don't forget." That night, James calls an emergency meeting with his board. Adrian smirks across the table. Kara sits beside him, glowing with fake sorrow. "Uncle," Adrian says smoothly, "for the sake of the company's reputation, perhaps you should step down. The public prefers clean stories." James leans back, calm as a blade. "And when the truth comes out?" he asks. Adrian smiles. "Truth is what people believe." I slam my hand on the table. "Then let's show them something they can't deny." Adrian laughs. "And what do you have, little orphan?" James places the ring in the center of the table. It gleams. The board leans in. "This," he says softly, "is the start and the end." Adrian scoffs, but his eyes flicker. Kara's hands clench. Something shifts in the room. But before the tide can turn, Leo's phone buzzes. His face goes pale. He whispers to James. James stiffens. He looks at me. "What?" I ask. "Mr. Wang moved. He's holding your mother's medical files." I freeze. "My mother?" James nods. "And he's willing to trade them." "For what?" I whisper. Leo's eyes are dark. "For you." My breath stops. The past, the children, and my own life. Corporate war. James doesn't sleep. Neither do I. Dawn paints the city gray while we sit in silence. "I'll go," I say, "if it saves my mother's truth." "You won't," James snaps. "I swore no one takes you again." "But if we don't," he says simply, "we fight." That morning, Apex strikes. James calls every partner, every ally. Contracts move like soldiers. Companies aligned with Adrian and Kara find their deals frozen, their banks suddenly suspicious. Mr. Wang's empire shakes. At the same time, Margaret goes public. She walks into a press room with Dylan and Emma at her sides. Cameras flash. She looks straight at the crowd. Rachel Lynn is their mother, and if you doubt me, you doubt me too. Her authority cracks the city. People don't argue with Margaret Huo. Not twice. But Kara doesn't stop. She storms into the Apex lobby, necklace swinging. "Arrest Rachel!" she shrieks. "She's a fraud, a thief." James appears on the balcony above like a storm god. "Arrest her," he commands. Security freezes. No one moves. He smiles cold. "Then get out of my building." She's dragged away, screaming my name like poison. Adrian vanishes, his smile gone. That night, the board votes. James stays. Adrian's shares plummet. Kara's accounts freeze. Mr. Wang's allies slither back into the shadows. But the war isn't over. At midnight, a package arrives at our door. Inside, my mother's files, stained and torn. A note reads, "Final warning. Tomorrow. The children or everything burns." Emma finds the note first. "Mommy, are we in danger again?" Danger doesn't wait until tomorrow. At dawn, the apartment windows shatter. Smoke fills the air. Masked men storm in. Dylan screams. Emma clings to me. James fights like fire, but there are too many. Leo shouts orders. Margaret swings her broom like a sword. They drag us outside to waiting vans. My hands claw for the kids. I don't let go. Not this time. On the dockyard edge of the city, they line us up. Mr. Wang steps forward, smug, in the morning light. "Trade," he says. "Your wife for the children." James snarls. "Over my body!" "That can be arranged." Guns rise. My heart stops. Dylan cries. Emma shakes. I step forward. "Take me," I say. "Leave them." James grabs my arm. "No." Wang laughs. "Love is weakness." A shot cracks. Not at us, at Wang. He staggers. Behind him, Adrian lowers his smoking gun. "Weakness," Adrian sneers, "is trusting the wrong man." Chaos erupts. Men shout, bullets fly. James shields me, bleeding from his shoulder. Leo pulls the kids under cover. Margaret yells curses like spells. I press my hand to James's wound. "Stay with me." His eyes lock on mine. "Never leaving." Sirens wail. Police swarm. Wang falls. Adrian vanishes. The kids cling to me, sobbing. James collapses into my lap. "Don't close your eyes," I beg. "Please." He smiles faintly. I keep promises. His eyes flutter shut. Hospitals smell of bleach and hope. James lies pale, bandaged, machines singing soft songs. I don't leave his side. Dylan and Emma draw pictures for him. Margaret lectures the nurses. Leo brings updates, but I barely hear. My world is the rise and fall of James's chest. 3 days later, his eyes open. Relief floods me so hard I almost drown. He whispers, "You stayed." "I told you," I say through tears. "No more dark." The city turns. News breaks. Forged DNA reports. Bribed doctors. False contracts. Mr. Wang's empire crumbles. Adrian is caught fleeing with fake passports. Kara is exposed, necklace and lies shattered. Miranda vanishes into shame. A week later, James calls a press conference. I stand beside him, holding Emma's hand. Dylan sits on Margaret's lap. Cameras flash. Reporters shout. James speaks simply. "This is my wife, Rachel. She saved me once. She saves me still. These are our children. They are hers. They are mine. Anyone who doubts can leave." The room goes silent. Then applause rises. Not forced, not fake.
Real. Afterward, James takes my hand. What now? I ask. Now, he says, we build. No lies, no shadows, only light. The kids laugh, running circles. Margaret scolds them fondly. Leo sighs at another call, and James, my storm, my promise, looks at me like the future is a gift. For the first time in years, I believe it. At the back of the hall, a stranger watches. He wears a dark suit, eyes cold, a scar across his jaw. He whispers into a phone. She has the ring. Begin the next move.